What can I do for you?
You can start by doing something about that fireplace.
I beg your pardon?
I called you this morning after I discovered the fireplace smoked. I think something's blocking the flue. I am the present dean, and that makes me the fourth dean.
It's impossible. I'm the dean. I'm the only dean, the first dean. You don't belong here.
I'm dean here.
I'm the dean of City College.
You're not real.
I'm right here.
You don't exist.
I'm alive. I'm not a ghost. This is Halloween.
DeMarco is going to call a last-minute meeting to discuss the Van Antwerp-Grotel merger. Just giving you a little heads up.
Thanks, Sylvie. I have a great idea about approaching the Van Antwerp people. I think it just might help me clinch the partnership. Lipstick?
No, you have enough. Here, dear. Try this on for good luck. This has been in the family for years. Marvelous.
It's lovely. Thank you.
Sylvia. It's almost completed now.
Okay, well, now that we are all here, let's hear proposals for leveraging the Van Antwerp-Grotel merger.
I have an idea.
So, what is going on with the Binhofer case? Because
Excuse me, Mr. Marco. My notes indicate that a similar proposal was put forth by Miss Isaac just a moment ago.
Did she? Oh, right. Ms. Isaac should be second on the case. Absolutely. Okay, so now, when are we going to get to this Binhofer case? Because it has been on the table for far too long.
Don't sweat it. We all got our little secrets, and the old gal in there is no exception. These things have a way of working themselves out.
I wish I could believe that.
Hi, Patty. It's Sylvie from DeMarco, Rodriguez, and Rabinowitz. Yes, I heard. It's wonderful. How old is she now? Oh, so lovely. So, listen, how are things at the Times these days? Yeah, I know. Listen, Patty, I have a little favor to ask of you. There is a very unusual human interest story that I think you might want to cover. How strangely delightful.
It's a pleasure to have you with us, Mrs. Thornton.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Discourse on any subject is one of my favorite pastimes, and I can't recall the last time I partook.
Mrs. Thornton, can you tell me about Arthur Bowen and the events which took place in 1835?
Oh, Arthur was a handsome young man, a wonderful boy, beautiful eyes. Arthur was born, I believe, in 1815, and so by 1835, he was a young man with all the problems of his age. He was also a slave, and that brought its own problems.
How did you feel about slavery?
I inherited Arthur and his mother. Like many of my friends, we didn't set out to buy slaves. I've never been fond of our peculiar institution, and many of us hoped that it would someday just fade away. Being a slave, of course, was the source of all Arthur's troubles. I would have freed him, if not for what my friends would have thought. There were many that believed the negative discourse that Mr. Calhoun had been preaching lately, but both Maria and I felt it was in Arthur's best interest to be taken care of by us anyway. The abolitionists and the anti-slavery literature that was going on around the city almost ruined him and ended his life. We were both terrified. We had no idea what he was doing. Maria had succeeded in getting him out the back door before I returned with some neighbors. We could still hear Arthur yelling and screaming something about wanting freedom. It was horrible. And then Arthur disappeared, and I was worried what the authorities might do to him if they found him. After they arrested Arthur, I felt terrible. I went to see Francis Key. He'd been friends with my husband and had defended him in a court case. I appealed to him to let me sell Arthur off and get him out of town.
How did Mr. Key respond?
He was very uneasy, almost fearful. I had no idea why, but he said he couldn't be seen as being soft upon a rebellious slave, and he could show no countenance to this kind of behavior. I tried to appeal to him, but he said the case had to go to trial. At Arthur's trial, Mr. Key persevered and was called witnesses that made it sound like Arthur had raised the axe against me. Mr. Key was quite impassioned and possessed. Even after I told the story and was backed up by Maria, Mr. Key secured his conviction of Arthur after only one day of trial. There was only one penalty for attempted murder by a slave. They put Arthur in a death cell and set his hanging for the last day of February in 1836. That January, I awoke as if from a deep sleep. I knew I had to do everything I could to prevent Arthur from being hanged.
So what did you do?
I started by circulating a petition among my friends on F Street and among the finer houses of the city. I said the punishment would be worse than the crime, and that if Arthur were executed for this, it's much worse than what he was accused of.
It's pretty unusual for a lady of your standing to have taken such strong actions for a slave, isn't it?
It was just wrong, and I didn't want to see them get away with it. There was enough damage done over the whole thing.
And you went to Jackson as well.
Yes, I went to the White House to see President Jackson, and I begged him to use his power of pardon and let Arthur come home.
That woman was a hell of a lot more spunky than even my dear Rachel. I admired her.
Being a slave, of course, was the source of all Arthur's troubles. I would have freed him, if not for what my friends would have thought. There were many that believed the negative discourse that Mr. Calhoun had been preaching lately, but both Maria and I felt it was in Arthur's best interest to be taken care of by us anyway. The abolitionists and the anti-slavery literature that was going on around the city almost ruined him and ended his life. We were both terrified. We had no idea what he was doing. Maria had succeeded in getting him out the back door before I returned with some neighbors. We could still hear Arthur yelling and screaming something about wanting freedom. It was horrible. And then Arthur disappeared, and I was worried what the authorities might do to him if they found him. After they arrested Arthur, I felt terrible. I went to see Francis Key. He'd been friends with my husband and had defended him in a court case. I appealed to him to let me sell Arthur off and get him out of town.
How did Mr. Key respond?
He was very uneasy, almost fearful. I had no idea why, but he said he couldn't be seen as being soft upon a rebellious slave, and he could show no countenance to this kind of behavior. I tried to appeal to him, but he said the case had to go to trial. At Arthur's trial, Mr. Key persevered and was called witnesses that made it sound like Arthur had raised the axe against me. Mr. Key was quite impassioned and possessed. Even after I told the story and was backed up by Maria, Mr. Key secured his conviction of Arthur after only one day of trial. There was only one penalty for attempted murder by a slave. They put Arthur in a death cell and set his hanging for the last day of February in 1836. That January, I awoke as if from a deep sleep. I knew I had to do everything I could to prevent Arthur from being hanged.
So what did you do?
I started by circulating a petition among my friends on F Street and among the finer houses of the city. I said the punishment would be worse than the crime, and that if Arthur were executed for this, it's much worse than what he was accused of.
It's pretty unusual for a lady of your standing to have taken such strong actions for a slave, isn't it?
It was just wrong, and I didn't want to see them get away with it. There was enough damage done over the whole thing.
And you went to Jackson as well.
Yes, I went to the White House to see President Jackson, and I begged him to use his power of pardon and let Arthur come home.
That woman was a hell of a lot more spunky than even my dear Rachel. I admired her.
Well, what happened exactly?
It was just an accident.
What?
It was an accident.
Well,
That doctor
sure
says.
it was, but what did they do at the hospital? You know, Jenny, you are very, very lucky. You have to be more careful.
I can't do this anymore, Ma.
Nonsense. You're all those boys got. And there ain't nothing you can do about it.
What if he took the whole thing?
Oh, heavens, Betsy, don't even think about it. Don't think that. Just thank your lucky stars he didn't. Get back on the horse. Those boys need you. Oh,
I love those boys.
yes, of course you
They
do.
can come over anytime.
Silly, she knows she can leave. Yes, dear.
I was wondering where he was.
Hi, Auntie Kendall. Can I have some soda?
Well, I thought you were sick.
I am, very much so. That's why I want some ginger ale, please.
Well, drink it in the kitchen. Last time you spilled it all over my living room rug.
Never mind.
What's he doing?
Take a guess. God knows it's gonna be hard some days, but life is tough and you take it as it comes. Those boys love you so much. You are a damn soldier, Jenny. If your father were alive, God rest his soul, he would tell you to raise those boys up right, to be fine young men, because that's your duty. Give me a hug, damn it. Oh, come on. You know you can always come to us. We're here. Look at her, thin as rails. I hope you'll stay. There's always people moving in and out of that room with finicky tenants, all of them.
Used to be that tenant stayed in the neighborhood for generations.
Have the ketchup.
And now it's all you kids moving out every year to a new place.
Pepper? Pepper's really good.
Jacking up the rents, complaining.
Like somebody else I know.
What are you saying? We haven't moved in 32 years.
He's been complaining because his friend Bobby Hammersmith moved to Florida.
Pushed out. He was forced out.
He and Bobby, they used to play chess every Sunday morning down by the park.
He was forced out.
Anyway, I hope you're gonna stay. It's an old building. Some people don't like the noises, but that doesn't bother you, right? You sleep like a baby, huh?
It's not like the house is haunted. I've never seen a ghost.
It's just noisy. There's air in the pipes.
Get used to it.
Hey, do you play chess?
Look at her. She doesn't play chess. Ballerinas don't play chess.
Oh, Earl. Don't listen to him. Now, Gus, he's our landlord. He's not the gossipy type, and neither are we, but he told us a ballerina, a professional, was going to move in.
Of course Gus is a gossip.
So when's your next performance? We'll get tickets, huh? It's all right, honey. You are in a new beginning now. Victoria, are you there?
Oh, hi, Mom. Didn't think you'd still be awake.
I sure am, and thank you for calling, sweetheart. But you actually said you'd come help tomorrow.
You sure? I'm looking at my planner and, I'm so sorry. Oh, God. I hope I didn't confuse you.
I'm not the one who's confused, Victoria. If I didn't remember these things, nobody else would.
I'm sorry. Mom, remember we talked about you changing your outgoing answering machine message?
It's just nice to hear his voice, Victoria.
I'd feel so much better if you let us get you a job. Just a little someone to keep
There is no point in getting dog after dog, sweetheart, if they're all going to run away. If a third dog runs away, I'm going to have to start taking it personally.
So I think she needed a little extra attention.
What about the descriptions of what the other beings looked like?
I mean, they're not identical, but so what? Think about it. If you're an alien race, don't you think you'd be able to change your appearance in the blink of an eye? And it could possibly be advantageous for them to keep their secret, create these little inconsistencies in people's stories so that society stops believing them and thinks that they're lying, thinks that they're making it up, but they're not. We're not. Just look at the facts. Go over the facts. This is the only explanation. What else could there be?
It might be far-fetched, sure, but I don't think that I want to just dismiss it. Just because it might not have been aliens doesn't mean that she wasn't visited by something.
Do you have any idea what that something might be?
No. No.
Look, do I think something happened? Maybe, but I know it wasn't aliens or something like that.
I would not wish this on my worst enemy. I didn't enjoy what they did to me.
This is Elizabeth. She's our civil rights consultant.
We know each other.
Asya, Elizabeth was giving us advice on what to do in case we are held or harassed or whatever.
You'll never know they're watching you unless they want you to know, to intimidate you. If you're a guy, I'd say it's more of a problem. Now, I'm going to give you this card with a lawyer's name on it. You can call the minute anything strange happens. Now, write the number on your body somewhere easy to reach, and always carry $5 and an ID with you. Otherwise, I can arrest you for 48 hours for being a homeless person. And you can call me anytime.
Thank you.
Nie duszaj się. Usłyszą cię, jak cię poruszysz.
That's just what I told him. Nobody steals from me. Ha! Just like I told you. You buy in the morning, you sell in the afternoon. If they hedge, you buy up every last shred of paper you can get your mitts on. That's how you make money. In this business, you grab them by the balls. You squeeze them until they turn purple and fall off. Oh, for Christ's sake! Do you have to bring that thing to the dinner table?
But Mother, I have to practice.
The shame of it. My only son. The coiffure.
In training.
Even worse.
Well, Father would have liked
Your father was a sissy. No more of this pansy nonsense. You'll be a financier or you'll be nothing. Give me that. I should have done this long ago. Nobody steals from me. That's just what I told him. You should have seen him quaking in his slippers. You know, my dear, I think you have a real future here. I'm seeing salons, chains of salons. We'll crush them. Those other coiffures don't stand a chance. We'll topple them like Carthage. You're gonna be the best in the door.
Good evening, madam.
You're not Nelson. Where is Nelson?
Bad oysters. Ugh, what a mess. You won't be seeing Nelson for a while, no. And when you do, you'll need a new uniform.
Well, you're supposed to open that door for me.
Hey-ya! What a nice night, huh? I've been driving this hack for 30 years, and I love it. Love everything about it. Young, old, rich, poor, they all end up in my cab.
I'll see to it your license is revoked and your horse turned into marshmallows.
Mrs. Moore, I got it.
Mr. Grant, thank you. Mr. Grant, would you like to come in for iced coffee?
Not today. But thanks. Thanks.
Mr. Clarence.
Now say, I was wondering if you have dinner plans.
Now say, I was wondering if you had dinner plans.
No, I don't.
How do spaghetti and meatballs at my place in an hour sound?
How does spaghetti in an hour place sound? And meatballs.
Lovely. Is there something I can bring?
Just your pretty self. Say it.
Just your pretty self.
Oh, Mr. Chris.
Please call me Stu.
Please, call me Sue. Stu.
And please, call me Joanne. I will see you in an hour, Stu.
Why do I have a bad feeling about this?
Congratulations.
If you don't mind my saying so, you are uncharacteristically conversational this evening.
I just felt it was time to get to know each other better.
I just felt it was time for us to get to know each other better.
Before we go on, Stu, I think there's something I should tell you.
What's that?
Ask her about her grandchildren.
This isn't easy for me.
Okay, talk about trains.
Go on, Joanne.
It's something my husband confessed to me on his deathbed.
Trains now.
He told me.
Oh, my ashes are in there.
Not that one.
He told me he and your wife had a 5-year affair. This is Chris. I'm sorry I told you about the affair.
I'm afraid I wasn't the most attentive husband in the world.
Makes you feel any better, I wasn't the best wife either. I was a nag. You want me to go?
Would you like to dance?
Oh, yes.
Trouble is, I don't know how.
Oh, it's easy. I'll show you. Now, put this hand here. And this one here, like this. And then you just close your eyes and let the music move your feet. You're dancing, Stu.
I'm dancing, Joanne. I'm dancing.
It's about a woman, Jess. She was your biggest love and your greatest fan, but she broke your heart, left you without a word of explanation.
Did you cry for her many days and many nights? The snake eats his own tail. This is your present.
Yeah.
Your life is cyclical, full of constant bad habits, pain, despair.
Can these cards tell me where she is?
They can only tell you past, present, and future.
What's my future?
Ah. The cat. There's a cat on your tail, a wild cat, with sharp claws and pointy teeth.
Today is my last visit to the mikveh, I'm afraid, like I've never been before in my life. You're the only one I can tell this to, Rebbe.
Hi, Mama.
Muriel!
Looks like I have your good taste.
Oh!
I have to tell you something.
Wait, now that mikvah's no longer part of my life, you'll go after you're married?
Your old traditions just aren't my style.
We Jewish women, we light candles, we keep a kosher house, we go to the mikvah.
I take a shower every morning.
No, you have to go to the mikvah every month to purify your spirit,
Mama.
your soul, not your body.
I have something to tell you. I can't say it in front of Papa.
What is it? Hold your horses.
Luna, I'm in a no parking zone.
Gotta run.
Wait. Thank you.
Are you ready to cross-examine? Approach the bench.
Can't you find a better way to fight your demons?
Mr. Jameson, if you don't mind my asking, why exactly do you have Mr. Lewis here? So go ahead then.
Johnny!
What? What, Mom? What is it?
Get up, it's 11:15. Don't you have an audition?
Yeah, I do. I was just having such a great dream, Mom. I was in a scene in a movie with Robert De Niro. It felt so real.
Robert De Niro. Don't you ever dream about Julia Roberts?
I'll see you later, Mom.
Don't you want something to eat?
Yeah, morning late. Bye, Pop.
So long, De Niro.
Break a leg then.
What moron started that break a leg thing? Suppose Raging Bull over there went out, goes down the stairs, and really breaks his leg.
Jeez, John, just an expression.
Hello, handsome.
Morning.
Oh.
Hey, what's a strapping stud like you doing Maria Bachkali's place, huh?
Breakfast, Mom.
You know what all the greasers in the neighborhood say about me, don't you?
Christ, no.
Well, it's all true. Hello.
Mom, Maria. Sweetheart. I'm not that kind of guy. No more of this until we're properly married, okay?
Okay. sweet you are, Gene. You're such a good boy.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Oh my God, don't let yourself get dragged into that silly artist's head trip. You'll end up like you came into the world, all wet and wailing and smelling like incense. I tried to shield you from all that, darling. That's why I never told you I was Lollipop Fields. I know better than anyone else that being outré can only lead to bad associations and poverty, and the purpose of life is to shop until you drop.
Infamous British fun girl, Lollipop Fields.
Sydney! Sydney! Sydney, oh baby! It's the love child! Sydney, I love you! Ah! That dirty hippie! The baby! The baby! Where's the baby? The baby! Find the baby!
Don't recognize her? She used to go by the name of Lollipop Fields.
Lollipop Fields? That was you? That 60s hippie who popped a certain royal family's cherry and was caught nude on camera taking a bath with one of the Beatles and some pigeons in Kensington Gardens?
A good biblical name, yes? When Karma was a little girl, she wanted to be a writer, but I wouldn't allow that self-indulgent art shit.
Mother, I changed my name to Ivana after college.
Oh, so sorry, darling. One forgets so many things when there's a death and the funeral director calls. Did I buy you that scarf? It is supposed to drape. Stop it! Talk to her, nephew. She's been so snippy. I was hoping that Sydney left Ivana some hard cash, and it didn't all go to that musical muse of his. Of course, if Sydney decided to bestow some small token on me, I would be happy to donate it to my favorite charity. A charming little canal-side pension in Venice. I'd have to make the donation in person, of course.
That's my girl. The bleeding heart humanitarian I fell in love with.
Oh, nephew. Even with all my silly advice and meddling. As I always said, those scribblings were going to make you famous one day. Yes.
I've done something stupid. I feel scared something is gonna happen to me. And something's gonna happen to her.
Who?
Jeannie.
Well, they were just high school kids in love. You know, I think they were every kid. And I think that's why people related to them. And young and innocent and no pretensions. And, of course, it was the Vietnam War. Yeah. And Philip had to go to war. And so they were victims of the time. And their romance and love was victims of the time.
So you walked into assembly that first day of school last September.
Hey, no, we met before that. Oh, come on, you remember.
I remember, but my mind was on football practice we had that day. But it was when you walked into assembly that I realized, hey, we've got homework to get finished.
Right.
as we began working together, playing boyfriend-girlfriend and reading poetry and singing songs to each other and all this stuff and getting involved in one scenario after another, I mean, to tell you the truth, I developed a really bad crush on her. I mean, I was kind of in love with Karen Gorney on the show, you know?
But I've really considered it to be a friendship and loved him, you know, like family kind of, you know? I'd say a crush is like an understatement. I mean, it was a big deal. We were very close. We were comrades creating this very beautiful story, you know?
Well, it just seems like yesterday that you were my little girl. And now, all of a sudden, through some sort of magic, you've grown up right in front of my eyes. That's a shock to any old dad.
You don't want me to grow up?
Oh, my dear Tara. Of course I want you to grow up. But problems come along in everybody's life. We both know that's part of living. And when a father looks at his young daughter, he wishes he could handle those problems for her. Even knowing how impossible it is doesn't stop him from wishing it a moment.
Well, there are not going to be any problems with Philip. I'm sure of that.
I've got it, Gran.
Hi.
Hi.
Got an old friend come in out of the cold?
Yeah, come in, old friend. Let me have your coat.
Don't bother to hang it up. I just got a minute. Hasn't Phil come over yet?
I don't think Phil's going to come over tonight.
Oh, that's too bad. I got a date with Erica. Nothing special, but I thought we all might go out and bowl a few lines.
Oh, I'd like to, but, you know.
What's with Phil? Even weather like this shouldn't keep him away from your door.
Well, he said he had a headache and he was feeling really awful. So I told him to take a nap and forget about seeing me tonight.
Well, maybe if he's had a nap, he'll change his mind. Let's give him a call.
Oh, all right. I guess he'll be awake by now.
Busy.
Oh, wonder who he's talking to.
What if he's got a new girl?
Well, I'll take it in my stride. I'll only kill him, that's all.
So, how are the plans for the surprise party coming?
Well, it looks like there are going to be about 12 of us. And my father is escorting your Aunt Anne.
Poor Erica. That means there'll be 2 women there who are prettier than she is.
Oh, wouldn't she love to hear you say that?
You know, I really can't blame Erica for letting her looks be so important. You know, when you look at the rest of her life, what's she got?
She's got a mother who loves her.
Well, you and I know you don't put much value on that until you lose it.
Right, I guess you're right.
Hey, let's call old Sleepyhead again.
Okay, I don't think he's going to come out, but I'd like to know how he's feeling.
Still busy.
Wow.
That must be some conversation.
She's at the hospital. Why don't you go talk to her? You'd think it was a state secret. I mean, I've just run out of ideas to get her to open up. Except that Kelsey, she adores her big brother. Maybe if you two could spend some time together.
Mom, I'll call, okay?
I wonder if your charm still works on Kelsey. I mean, she's so alienated lately. Everything I say is wrong. Sometimes I think she might be better off away from me.
Like back at school?
Like maybe she should move in with you.
Cops are here.
What else is known?
Arresting innocent people! There's murderers and killers out there, you know?
You think he could be a soprano?
Oh, you're wearing pink socks. This is not macho at all.
Too much above the shoe tops. Notice the female in perfect position, looking up at the Guido with the look of adoration. The female just happens to be one of our celebrity judges, Karen.
I'll ask you one question, just for starters. Could you undo that button on the top because I'm choking just looking at it?
Yeah, let's see that. Let's see that.
You know, that's it. Now you look a little bit better. That's nice.
All
right, there you go.
And you have to lift weights. You have to build your pectoral muscles.
Go to the gym. She's right. Let somebody drop a weight on your head.
What you need to do is you have to understand pasta and you have to understand tomato sauce. My good friend, New York Joe, is going to teach you how to make these two staples of a Guido diet, pasta and tomato sauce. If you understand this, you have a shot at being a Guido. Guidos do not have one eyebrow. There is some separation in the middle.
Hey,
Grandma, is everything all right?
don't you dare come near me.
I just want to know what's wrong.
Nothing feels right here. I can't even tell you where I am. I wish you wouldn't lie to me. Just tell me the truth or take me home.
I take you here, Grandma. We'd come right back to this room.
You're trying to fuck with me. I'm an old woman. Why are you doing this?
Don't you remember?
Take me home.
Grandma, please, listen.
Take me home! Take me home! You got some nerve with the honking and the honking, like listening to geese humping. Look at this place. This is disgusting. And your playing stinks too. At least you could take some lessons, why don't you? What's the matter with you people, huh? Some people, there's no respect. No respect at all. Just do whatever they